Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brendan Brandt from the Brandt Group, doing a webinar here, sort of a pseudo webinar, an on-demand training video for Digital Insurance Pro, our new website, which we're really excited about. Today, we're actually going to be talking about pay-per-call insurance leads. These are leads that essentially are going to call into your office. We actually wrote an article about it a few days back, and very excited about the potential that has to impact a lot of agencies around the country. So to start, we're actually going to ask that you go to Google AdWords, or that's where we'll be walking you through. You can go to adwords.google.com, or you can simply Google, literally, AdWords, and it'll obviously pop right up. When you hit the page, you're going to see something hopefully just like this. We're actually going to start on the campaign page, but many of you guys who have not created any type of pay-per-click campaign before will be over on the home page. When you land, we're obviously going to want to go ahead and click this campaign button, and it's going to give us a couple of different options. This is how you go ahead and dive right into a new one. And for us, we're going to go ahead and click Search Network Only. That's going to come into play as we sort of force this ad to be what we call a call only, which will pop up here in a second. So once we've clicked that, it's going to go ahead and drop us over here to our campaign screen. You can go ahead and name this whatever you want. We'll stick Insurance Falcon or something of the like in. And then what really is important on this screen is over on the right-hand side. So we have it marked as Search Network Only. We want to keep it that way. But below, you're going to see a couple of different options. So you have mobile app installs, mobile app engagement, dynamic search ads, things of that nature. And for the average person, if you're just running something, you're trying to sell a product online, more traditional, you're just going to leave it as standard. But for us, we're going to come down here and actually click Call Only, and it's going to give us a little dialog box here just saying this is going to change some settings, and that's fine. But we're going to go ahead and click Call Only here because we want to essentially force people to call our office when they actually see this ad and click on it or interact with it. So normally on a pay-per-click campaign, you have no choice but to click back to a website. In this scenario, we're actually going to only show this to devices that have call-out capability. So basically, that just means we're only going to show this to people who are seeing this ad on a mobile device. iPhone, iPad, Android, you name it. Now down here, we want to go ahead and pick our locations, and it defaults to everything, or maybe US and Canada, excuse me. And if you're, a massive brokerage of CoverHound, if you guys are watching this, you're going to put in United States, right? You're going to target the whole country. For everyone else, you're going to go ahead and click Let Me Choose, and then type into that box exactly what you're looking for. You can also click Advanced Targeting, and over on this screen, you can build radiuses around your office or zip code or city. You can additionally exclude things. So right here, I just went ahead, I live in Arlington, Virginia, put a radius of 20 miles around it. Now, our agencies are actually only licensed in Virginia. So if I was doing this and being kind of a little bit more careful about it, not just doing this for training purposes, I would actually use that function to exclude DC and Maryland, maybe even West Virginia, depending on where we touch. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. Down here, you're going to get a little bit further into the targeting options. We're going to go ahead and just leave this as is. So we just want to make sure that the people that are being shown this ad are in the area that we want them to be in. Now, as a rule, Google tends to do that based on IP address or search location. But if someone is searching for insurance in Arlington, Virginia, because they live in Hampton Roads, Virginia, they're going to move up here, then we want to make sure that we leave that the same. Down here, we're just tweaking languages. Generally speaking, I leave that as English. You can do Spanish as well, depending on your office or whatever language you guys speak in there. Now, down here, this is going to be our bid strategy. So I actually prefer to target page location. So go ahead and select that on the drop-down menu, and then over here, you can actually select, do you want anywhere on the first page, which is going to be cheaper. I think it gives you better bang for your buck than top of the search page, just, wherever. And then over here, you're going to set your budget. Leave the default bid empty, but your budget you can set to, whatever you'd like it to be. I just stuck $100 in a day in here. That's probably a little bit too high. Right now, for our agency, I think we're spending about $600 a month, so roughly $20 a day. Probably a little bit less than that because we're only going to target during the week. That's what we're going to look at right here. So this is what's called day parting. So this is where you actually set your strategy. So your delivery strategy. So for us, we didn't put an end date on here. We're going to actually show this, indefinitely. And this is obviously just a trial run, but I would come in here, and please note that this is Eastern Standard Time. You cannot change this if you're on the West Coast. So, for example, if you're on the West Coast and your office opens at 9, then you need to set this to noon Eastern to make sure that they're being delivered on time. But again, just make sure that you're setting the time right. I leave it usually 9 to 5, 9 to 4. Our office opens at 8:30, so we want them in there, once our staff is settled in. Ad rotation. Just leave this as default. There's not going to be any changes for you guys unless you're going to do super advanced stuff and put quite a few things in here. It's kicking me out. I made a little mistake, so I'm just going to fix this right here. I already have this campaign name somewhere else, so we're just going to change that and then try and save it again. But for the most part, it's going to be pretty self-explanatory for this first stage. So Google hates me today. I'm running a little bit slow. So now, this is our ad group. It's just a way for Google to sort of help what I'm going to call a power user kind of manage and tweak and do different A/B testing. For our purpose, we're just going to go ahead and leave this pretty standard ad group 1, or you can call it, Insurance Falcon 1 or Russell Insurance 1, whatever your agency's name is, however you're going to do it. So we'll go ahead and stick something in there. Down below, you're going to actually see the ad creation area. So this is actually where we're going to put the text together, put all the information that actually matters, and then over on the right hand side you'll see it kind of populating on what looks like I'm sure Google's Android phone. So that's what an ad will look like when it's actually being served to a potential customer. So the business name, this actually doesn't show anywhere, so I'm putting Insurance Falcon. That's just a website that we have. I'm sorry, I put Russell Insurance Agency. I did this video a little bit earlier. So Russell Insurance Agency, that's one of our offices out in Front Royal. And the phone number, you're going to put exactly where you want this number to be routed to. So when somebody clicks call, send it to the line that you want to be picked up for sales purposes. So if you do a sales service split, or if you're a bigger agency that has a call tree, I recommend just putting in the full number, even with an extension if you need to make sure it's being delivered to exactly where you need to go. That's going to help big time on conversions. The other thing that you're going to want to do is when you actually get to writing the text, and you can see right here, it said I put too many characters in the first line. You want to be very concise, very to the point. You want people to know exactly what's going to happen when they're calling. So if someone's looking for health insurance and somehow stumbled upon your ad, and you don't do that, you guys are P&C only, you want to put something in here about auto only or home only or whatever the case may be, so you make sure that you're getting customers that you want, and you're not going to have any wasted ad spend, or you're going to minimize wasted ad spend. Now down here in these URLs, it's important to note that the display URL is what's going to actually show in the ad. They can't click on it. Anytime they click on this ad, it's going to be sent to your phone. It's going to actually prompt them to call you. But it has to match the verification URL's root. So if it's russellinsuranceragency.com, the verification URL is actually going to be used by Google to verify your phone number. So your phone number that you're sticking up here, you want people to call, has to be shown on that verification URL page. So in here I put, russellinsurance.com/contact, which is actually where Google will be able to find our phone number, verify that it's the right one, and actually get this ad run. It does take them, up to 48 hours to approve ads. They just want to make sure that you're not doing anything you're not supposed to, that you actually have the right phone number in, and all that good stuff. Down here, I encourage you guys to use a Google Voice number. It's going to really, really help you with tracking. I know some captive companies do not like you to use that because there's maybe call recording. If you are an independent, or some of the captives where you're allowed to do that, I very, very much recommend that you do that. It'll make your life much, much easier when it comes to the back end, and get you all squared away. Up here, I'm just cleaning up the phone number. I just prefer that it look a little bit cleaner instead of all the numbers jumbled together. Just again, we want to make sure that the client, when they see it, they know exactly what's going to happen when they push that button. Now down here, This is sort of where the important stuff is going to happen. So this is going to be the keyword selection process. So over on the right hand side, you can see that based on our domain name, it's going to pull up several different insurance related categories. So right here, it's pulling up, for whatever reason, a lot of business insurance stuff. Not a big deal for us, but I'm actually going to run this for auto insurance. So I'm just going to type in a few keywords here: auto insurance quotes, cheap insurance, Virginia, so on and so forth. And then we'll go ahead and save that and make some edits later. However, if you come in and let's say you're a captive agent who has a microsite or something like that, and Google recognizes everything on your site correctly, you can just go ahead and click add over here on the right hand side to any search term or phrase that you like, and it'll go ahead and add these keywords over for you automatically. But this is sort of the bread and butter stuff. These are the search terms that basically determine when your ad is going to be shown. So you want to make sure that you're picking things that are immediately relevant. Again, if you're looking for auto insurance leads or homeowners insurance leads or whatever the line of business is, make sure that you're putting that in here. You don't want to just put in insurance quotes or online quote or whatever, because you're going to get life insurance, you're going to get disability insurance, you're going to get health insurance. Not that that's a bad thing if you're a full service agency, but depending on number one, how you're compensated, and number two, probably more importantly, how you're licensed or what your agency can handle, you just want to make sure that you are equipped to handle the leads that are being generated, and more importantly, that you are generating the leads that you are envisioning. It's asking me to put in just the prefix http:// just so the robot that verifies these ads can actually find what it's looking for. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then come back down here and save one more time. So now it's going to spit me out here in a second when Google stops hating me onto the sort of final page that shows how we're under review and what my bids are going to be for each keyword. Now you're going to see a couple of sort of red notifications here saying that my keywords or the search terms that I'm looking for, my bids are too low. So this is saying that I need to be up around $16-17 to get this, and my bid is at 7. So you can leave it at 7. The traffic volume, the number of clicks you're going to get will be significantly lower. Now, generally speaking, I'm just doing this to kind of show you guys how. It's very easy to change just by clicking and populating it in here. I'm not going to pay $20 for a click. I usually like to stay around 7 max. As a rule, if I'm running a traditional pay-per-click campaign, which I'm sure many of you are or have, that's still expensive for my taste. But since these are calls and I'm kind of viewing them as leads, then I'm a little bit more comfortable paying $7, $8, $10 if I have to, depending on line of business. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on keywords, and it brings you over to this screen, and you're going to see that it populated all of the sort of requisite keywords based on what I initially input. So if you remember on a screen or two earlier, I was putting in auto insurance, cheap insurance quotes Virginia, or cheap auto insurance quotes Virginia, And Google's smart enough, obviously, that when you come back over and it's taking a look at your bids and doing some analysis, it will actually also show you other relevant keywords. So since it populates those over here on the right-hand side, depending on what you're actually looking for, you can add a lot more keywords very quickly, just sort of using the categories they've defined over here on the right-hand side. You can add all of them in one group, sort of categorically, or if you'd rather pick and choose by breaking it down a little bit further, you can do that as well. So my suggestion to you guys is to add on the front end really as many as you can, or as many as are sort of relevant to your campaign. You can go ahead and click save down there, and then when it shoots you back out to the screen afterwards, the screen we were previously at that shows all of your bids, you can actually go through and select the ones that are going to get you the most views, the most clicks for the lowest amount of money. So my suggestion would be to go back through there and pick anything out that costs more than really $6, $7 a click, just because you can still certainly make a margin without a doubt, but we really want to make sure that our acquisition cost is low to really maximize the return on our investment. So that's sort of pay-per-click ad creation 101. Tracking this is very, very simple. It's really going to be how many calls did you get, who did you convert, and since you're running this yourself, you're going to know exactly what's coming from where, especially if you're using a Google Voice number. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us via the website. If you need help beyond that, please reach out to novusleads.com, and they will do their best to take care of you over there as well. So with that, I hope you have a great day and enjoyed this video.